Hi guys, welcome to my videos. So guys, I have completed 14 years of my corporate life, work life, and today being very nostalgic, I'm making this video. So watch it till the end, guys, because this is my story. Some of you may find it funny, you may find it strange. So it started back in 2008. I was graduated and my blood was very hot. We wanted to explore the corporate world and reach to the top. With lot of heavy dreams, I entered in this sector. Initially, in 2008, when I joined, first like training, then I joined the company project. Things were going good. I was working for one of India's biggest IT companies, and they were treating us really well. I was first time I was earning good amount of money. I did not have big dreams, but I did have big dreams. But to be honest, till that time, I had no intention or nothing like that to go to a different country and settle down there. But times change, right? So 2009 passed, 2010 when I was in my project and I was doing some good work. Some of the people suggested that I should go to on site. That was the moment with the first time I got the indication, yeah, my number will also come. So I kept on working, and in 2012 my dream came true. Like in 2012 was a difficult year as well, because that was the time government of Canada had introduced LMO, labor market opinion, which is now changed to LMIA, labor market impact assessment. So I got a positive LMO and then my visa was applied. I was like flying on moon. I was so happy that a dream came true. I came to Canada, and for first few months I was busy only in photography. I was a big fan of Facebook then, not anymore. I used to click a lot of pictures and upload and other things I used to do. I was getting a lot of accolades from my colleagues, my client. Things were going pretty smooth, but sometimes ends are not what you expect. So then came the biggest shock of my life. After working for 11 months, exact 11 months, I was forced to go back because my visa was not extended. My employer did not file because of the circumstances then. I tried a lot, but when it comes to management in IT, you cannot go beyond that, right? Those who work in IT industry, they know this pretty well, that your management is everything. You can't do anything more. So unfortunately, I was forced to go back. It was 13th August end when I was forced to go back to India, and really shattered, broken. I was literally, I cried a lot, and it was like, imagine situation, like when I came here, I liked this place, everything. And honestly guys, Canada in 2012 was much more different and better than it was today, honestly, in lot of aspects. Again, I cannot cover all, but in my opinion it was then. I was really enjoying at this place, and then I was forced to go back against my wish, but I had no option. So I was shattered. I cried a lot when I was alone, but there was nothing I could do. So I was almost like very bad mood. I was, but then I decided something, that I got to prove a point. Somebody in management can not write my destination. They cannot decide what I have to do, whatever excuses they give. But if when it comes to my life, my choices matter, and that is the point when I decided to take the matters. And I decided I would do everything on my own, and I would prove that if you decide to achieve something on your own, there is nobody who can stop you. So I explored. I started exploring. Started doing research. From Canada, I was helpless. There was nothing. I couldn't cover 1 year, so I was not eligible for CEC. The cap for federal skilled workers were closed. There was nothing I could do. I looked in other countries. I looked for almost all the first world countries, including European countries. I did too much of research, be it Germany, Austria, UK, France, Spain, all countries I looked, Australia, New Zealand. Few countries I zeroed in where I proceeded further. Like first one I decided to go after was Denmark. They used to issue Danish green card during those days. It isn't available anymore, but during those days it was the requirement. So I was going after it, but there was one hurdle I was failing, was that if you want to go for that you had to do master degree from India, otherwise point score was not coming through. So unfortunately I had to come out of master degree. I was in a mood to take admission into MBA course, but I thought like if I go for it, 2 years I have to wait before I complete my degree. So that program I had to put on hold. Next was Australia and New Zealand. So for New Zealand I did apply IQA. It was successfully completed. Then I decided, but in New Zealand during those days my cutoff was not coming even close. 100 points were minimum, but draws were conducting around 125 something. So my, if I'm not forgetting, my score was around 100. So I, like, after waiting for some time I thought it's not gonna work. Then the next option was Australia, and that is where I found a small ray of hope. Okay, let's go after Australia. I calculated my points. I first of all I researched how it happens. Then I decided, oh, it goes through ACS, Australian Computer Society for Skill Assessment. Like in Canada, you go for WES and other groups. In Australia, it's occupation based. So because I was in IT, I filed with ACS. But another hurdle, ACS did not even recognize my bachelor's degree because it was not in IT. Instead, what they did, they recognized some Microsoft certifications that I had done, and they equated it to diploma. So instead of 15 points, then I was getting 10 points because they made my qualification equivalent to diploma and also took off 5 years of experience. And I was not getting any point for experience, but yes, I was crossed. I was deemed skilled enough to go to Australia under that visa, but I was not getting any point for experience, neither anything for education. So then but still I did not give up because I was determined that whatever happens in the world, I'll fight till the extent. I said, okay, these are not in my control. What else I can do? One is to increase your point in IELTS. So for me, doing IELTS was not a simple task. I studied in Hindi medium, and all of a sudden I had to score around 8 and above in IELTS. Do you really think it was simple? It was not. But I worked hard day and night. Like, people called me crazy. What I did, like, after initial few attempts, I worked too hard and I couldn't score. So I did a drastic change, a drastic experience, something drastic I wanted to do. So what I did was unexpected. In that Indian city where I was living, I started speaking in English only to everyone, to my colleagues, to auto wala, to rickshaw wala, to my neighbors, everywhere. A lot of people abused me. Some people said, oh, he has been bitten by an English dog. People used to call me an English dog. A lot of such things happened. But I was determined. I ignored and I kept on doing, and that really helped me. Because whatever vocabulary, whatever words, whatever grammar I used to learn, I used to practice. And that really turned into the fruit for me. So I did through IELTS. Still, my points were not enough. But what I found after tremendous research, that there is like ACS, there is an organization in Australia, VETASES, that does assess lot of occupations. But this organization VETASES also provides point test advice, where if your qualification is not recognized, or you can file for a particular qualification and find out to which Australian level it matches. So I filed a point test advice with them for my graduation, and they equated it to Australian graduation. This is the moment I was waiting for. Now still I couldn't get any point for experience, but I got high in IELTS. I now 5 additional points because now I could claim points for graduation. And then still I was at the boundary. Then something great happened. What happened was like in Canada we have provincial nomination. In Australia we have state nomination. So the state of Victoria had some openings for IT occupations, although they had criteria. One criteria was IELTS 7, so that I crossed. Second one was minimum experience of 3 years. So there I was confused. Do they want 3 years in total or 3 years after ACS cutoff? So I sent an email to them to clarify this. They said it's total, not after ACS cutoff. That was the bingo for me. So I decided to go for it. I filed, and luckily, processing time was 12 weeks, but after 16 weeks, it came back positive for me that I got 5 points for state nomination too. So I was eligible for 190 visa, qualifying across everything. That day I literally cried with happiness that, oh my god, I did it. I proved it. To everyone else, to more than everyone else, I had to prove a point to myself, and I proved it. I could do it if I decide. And then I went ahead for medical test, filed the visa, and I was okay. But guys, in Hindi there is a famous proverb, देने वाला जब भी देता देता छप्पड़ फाड़ के. That means if God gives you something, they give you beyond your imagination. They give you something you can't even imagine, beyond anything imagination. And that's what happened to me. So something like that happened to me. I've just a few days back, I was not getting anything with lot of dark, but when God blessed me with light, there was enormous amount of light. Let me explain what happened. After this Australian clearance, I got US H1B clearance. I got the email that my lottery has been picked up. I said, wow. So everything was going smooth. I was almost in September or October, month of 2014 by now. So I went for medical test for Australia. I filed medical test for Australia and other things. What happened after that, guys? Just a few days, I think 2 days if I'm not wrong, an email came to my official mailbox. And that said, file your visa for Canada, you are going soon. I got, oh my god, what is this? Unbelievable it was. Like I filled the forms, everything, did formalities, and for the point is, for medical test I went to the exact same clinic, exact same doctor, and I said, sir, you have done my test 15 days back. He checked, yeah, everything was in place. So even that was done for me. And then I got the visa approved. It did not take, like, after I filed my visa, within a week it was granted to me. This time it was not LMO, it was ICT, intra company transfer, and this time it was for 2 years. So that was about to give me ample opportunities to become permanent in Canada, and I was waiting for it. And then after doing everything, on 31st December from India I traveled, and I reached here on 1st. I was like, oh my god, finally lot of points have been proven. I am back to the place I really wanted to. And now I was in 2015, and this was the year when Government of Canada launched Express Entry, changed the whole process. So in first two draws, only people those who had nominations, they were picked up. Third draw of Express Entry in March 2015, my file was picked up. The cutoff was 481 and my score was 485. Because of my high IELTS score, I was picked up. That I had got when I was struggling. So that time I realized that whatever hard work we do never goes to waste. It pays you back. If not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe day after. Then from March, I waited till May. In the month of May, my application moved a bit and I got approved for medical. And it was 7th July 2015. I left my place bit early because I was not feeling well. Probably some sort of infection and all, because I had like slight fever, not willing to eat. I was going to doctor office. I was standing at Toronto's famous Dundas Square when my phone vibrated. I picked my phone. I saw there was an email from my Express Entry account, GCK account, whatever you say. So that was not the moment I could check it, but I walked a bit more. I went to the clinic, I registered, and while I was in the waiting room, I opened that email. Oh my god, when I checked that, it was passport request letter. It was like, oh my god, I achieved it. A dream that I saw 3 years back in 2012. Finally, it was getting realized. I was just a step away in 2015. That time I realized, and that time I said, if I would have given up, if I would have just left the work, or like people do a lot of things after returning from on site in IT, a lot of things would have happened, but nothing. I did not give up. I kept on working, I kept on fighting, I fought with thousands of circumstances. Whatever I told you is just the summary. But in reality, I had to encounter thousands of difficulties. But whatever happens in the world, my aim, my goal was fixed. And I never derailed myself from that goal. And finally, it was achieved. I made a post on Facebook, and immediately congratulations started pouring in. Some of them made fun of also, but that's all right, no problem. Then I sent my passport for stamping. A week later, it arrived. It was 16 July. I was at Rainbow Bridge, Niagara Falls border, when I did the flag polling, and I became the permanent resident. It's okay, fine. Things continued like that. 6 months more passed. Now I was in 2016. So in 2016, like, I tried a lot that to make myself a permanent employee of the current branch of my employer, because my current branch was still showing that of India, and I was here on deputation technically. So I had to take a call. What would I do? Would I go back? Answer was no, I am not going back, whatever happens in the world. So I tried a lot with my employer, but again it did not work out. Then I decided something I have to work out for myself. Then I went out of my employer. I started applying for jobs, and I went for one, two, three, four interviews. Out of four, two I was selected. One did not work out because of salary negotiations. Second one worked out. So I left my organization. It was with a heavy heart, because almost like 2008 to 2016, so 7.5 years I worked for the company, and it was very, if it was with very heavy heart I left the organization. I was like, but we have to move in our life, right? So I came out, and since then I am with the same employer. In 2018 I got the citizenship. Now I live in my home, I have my car. So that's how, guys, that is what my story is of last 14 years. Today I don't know why I am sharing it with you guys. Hopefully you like it. Please let me know what you feel about it. Thanks for watching this, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.